For today's tutorial, we are going to go through our concert database. This is number 4 in a series of tutorials on the playlist. We're going to look at complex query lookups. Okay, objectives for this session then. We're going to discuss the need of why do we need to have a complex query lookup, and also we're going to look at an end state. We're then going to create a query for the lookup. We're going to use the wizard to create the relationship. And we're going to review lookup control properties. So let's review the end state and the need. Okay. So first things first, go to Moodle and download the ConcertDB Post Relationships Lookups. So once that's downloaded, open it up. And let's imagine we're continuing on from this point. We're going to go to our ticket table, and you'll notice the customer reference lookup has been completed, but our concert reference lookup has not been completed, and this is what we're going to attempt to do now. So go into Design View, click on Concert Reference, go to Number, down to Lookup Wizard. Sometimes it doesn't click for the first time. Okay, you're going to want to look up the field in a different table. We're going to choose the concert table, and we're going to have the concert ID. Oh, wait, hang on a second. This table is a bridge table, and the problem with that is that all you've got, instead of venues, is you've got band references, and you've got date, time, starts, but what you won't actually be able to do is to find out what the band name is. So anybody clicking on the drop-down box has got the option of an ID, another ID, another ID, or just some random dates which don't really correlate with a band or a venue or an arena. So what we're going to do is create a complex query lookup which includes 3 or so tables, or 2 tables, which will allow us to identify a band for this lookup. So press cancel, come out of that. Then we're going to look at the end state. Again, available on Moodle for your review. So upon opening this file, what you'll notice first of all is that there's an additional object, and this is a query concert lookup, and this is effectively the drop-down box that the user will see when they click on the lookup query. So we've ordered it via band name, and then as a secondary measure we've ordered it by the concert date time. So more often than not, when somebody rings up to order a ticket, they're going to go, can I see Big Shack on XYZ date? They're not going to go, can I order a ticket for concert ID 19 and concert ID 13? Okay, so that's a preview of the query. Go into Design View if you wish. What you've got is 2 tables showing. You've got concert ID, band name, and date, time, start, ascending, descending. So close that down. No, we don't want to make any changes. And you can see the end output on the ticket table. So if I click on concert ref, what I've got is a massive lookup, and it shows me meaningful information so the user can enter that in. So next section, we're going to create a query for the lookup. So come out of your current database, open up Moodle again, and go back to the start point, which is the post relationships lookup. So this is going to be a start point. So we're going to create the query. You're going to go into create, and you're going to go to query design. We want the band table and the concert table, and press close. Now fortunately, because of our previous lookups that we've created, the relationship has been preserved. So this is where we select the tables that we want for our dynamic lookup box. So we're going to take the concert ID, because that's what's going to be referenced from the ticket table. We're going to take the band name, and then we're going to take the date, start time. What we're going to do after that is we're going to sort the band name ascending order, and we're going to sort the date, time, start by ascending order as well. So it will list all the bands in alphabetical order, and then where it's got 2 of the same band, it will then list the concerts by date. So once that's done, let's run it to test it, and we've got our appreciable end state for our combo boxes. Next thing to do is to save it. Q_concert lookup, and then that's saved. Next thing we do is we are going to go to the ticket table, and you'll notice that the lookup isn't in place yet. So if we go to design view, we go to the concert ref, we select the drop down box, go into lookup wizard. For some reason it doesn't click every time. I want to look up the table from another table or query, press next. And if you want to clarify your area of view, if you select queries, you'll see query concert lookup, we'll press next. And we want all the fields. Press next. Now, you don't have to do this because it's already been ordered. You don't have to do this, but it has already been ordered on the query itself, but for good measure you can enter it again. Band name, followed by date time start. We go next. Now, remember, this affects your visual layout, so we're going to truncate, or we're going to make small the concert ID, just small enough so that you can fit the header in. We're going to make the band name much bigger because on the real thing the band name is much bigger than is displayed in this. You can also scroll down to find the largest band, in this case it's Royal Republic, and we're going to add a centimetre onto the end of that. Your date time start is already being cropped, so we need to extend that out to make it much larger for view. So press next, and you're going to insert the concert ID into the field, so press next and press finish. So if we go into datasheet view, you'll notice that on the concert reference we've now got all the relevant fields that we want for that lookup. So the next thing is we are going to review the lookup control properties. These are accessible by going to your database, and if you go into the design view of your form, and then from here, instead of going into the lookup wizard, you can click this little property box here on this tab to go into the manual control values. So we'll talk about what these do and how you use them. Okay, so display control here, this determines all the properties that are available below this box. So if it's text box, it's just a standard entry. If it's list box, it's a multiple choice value, and if it's a combo box, it is a lookup in the traditional sense of it. You're looking at a different table to source information. So row source type here, you've got a number of different options here. You've got a value list, which is your list value, and then you've got your table query, which is relevant to the lookups. Here you've got pure SQL. Now if you're confident with SQL, you can look at this and appreciate it and edit it manually should you wish to do so, or you can click the query open box here. Now bear in mind, what you're looking at now is a query within a query. We have selected the query concert lookup, and the concert ID has been extracted, the band name and the date start time has been extracted because show criteria is added here. You don't need to worry about this at the moment, but you can, there is scope to enter your own queries using a different method, which is a long-winded way of doing it, and so there are so many things that can go wrong. So the only time you should really be in this query lookup place is if, for example, you needed to amend the columns that were being displayed. So say, for example, you wanted to change the order in which fields are displayed. Say, for example, I wanted to do band names descending, I can change that there, or I can just literally delete the additional sorting filter that's been applied to the rest of the table. Or for example, I can show and hide different columns which will appear in the lookup. So if I wanted to preview what would happen if I hid the band name, press run, and then this is what my lookup is then going to look like. So close that and don't save it. Take you back to this screen. Bound column represents the column that is going to be saved into the field. So bound column 1 refers to the concert ID. Column count is the number of columns that are going to be displayed in the lookup field, so all of this is really visual information. Column heads, as we've described before, if I press yes, concert ID, band name and date will appear. Now here's the column widths. This might be relevant to you because, say for example, going through the lookup wizard, you accidentally created one of the fields too short and it no longer fits. So when we adjusted the arrows manually, what we ended up with is some weird, well not weird, but exact values. But there was no way that we could predict that it was going to be 4.048 centimeters. But let's say for example our final field was too small and we want to increase the size of it. You can do that here. So I'm going to change that from 4 to 6. You then need to change the list width here from 9 to 11. So once that's done and we save it and go back into this datasheet view, what you'll notice in your concert ref is that the date time start has got a lot more white space on the right. One of the things you'll notice here in the column headers that was probably unpredictable is that the concert ID is too small to fit the column header into it. So to rectify this, we go into design view, we go to the concert reference, we go to the lookup, and we're going to change this column width for the first one. Well, we're going to increase it by 1 centimeter, which means that we only have to increase this by 1 centimeter. If you wanted to round that up to 2 centimeters, you'd have to add, the difference between the original width to the end width here, which is, who wants to add 0.232 or whatever it is. So if we go into save and design view, go into datasheet view, we can then see that on my lookup, my concert ID has enough room to display the concert ID. Okay, now then. So we've reviewed the lookup control properties. So review objectives, we've discussed the need and the end state. We've created a query for the lookup. We've used the lookup wizard to create the relationship, and we've reviewed the lookup control properties. Okay, have a look through the YouTube videos in the next video in the playlist. Cheers.